فإن دعوة أهل السنة، دعوة أهل الحديث، دعوة السلفيين، دعوة أهل الأثر تقوم على التربية والتصفية.
Sometimes when a child has a stupid friend, and many of us can relate because growing up as non-Muslims we had a lot of stupid friends. When a child has stupid friends, he may be a good kid. She may be a good kid. But it's like Ibn Hibban al-Busti, he mentioned in his book Rawdatul Uqala, a book about intelligence and how good character is a sign of intelligence. He said that the harms of hanging out with stupid people is that if their company doesn't harm you, it won't benefit you. But sometimes we as parents, we don't care if our kids have stupid friends. They have friends that are misbehaved and who treat their parents in a way that is not permissible in the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Shaykh, he said that it is mandatory upon the parents towards their children to guarantee and to check to make sure that they have righteous friends, friends that are upright, araful haqq wattaba'uh, and who know the truth and who follow the truth. And that they warn their children from taking evil people and sinful people as friends. Any children who are deviant in their behavior, deviant in their religion. Find some of the teenage girls, the parents will send them to a school, thinking that, and without a doubt, sometimes it's the lesser of two evils. You send your children to a school that is run by the Hizbis because the Salafis are shiftless and are fickle, and we don't have our business together, and we don't have schools. Wallahu al-musta'an. And so the teenage girl, she sees the other girls in her school, and in the best scenario, it's a school that doesn't have free mixing, although there's nothing like that in this city. A school for where a teenage girl can go, a Muslim girl can go, and there's not free mixing with boys and men. Wallahu al-musta'an. But in the best case scenario, maybe a girl can be in a situation where she's in a Muslim school that's not run by people who are upon the aqeedah and the manhaj of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Her friend doesn't cover her feet. Her friend doesn't cover her face. Her friend, he wears a khimar with Tommy Hilfiger jeans and a tight shirt that grabs onto her bosoms. So what happens? She goes out the house one day, you didn't see her, she wasn't wearing socks. It starts with socks. We've seen that happen. A sister, and he says, I don't know of any proof that says I don't have to cover my feet. Somebody says that's harmless. It's just her feet. She probably has corns and bunions on her feet and stuff anyway. They're not attractive. What does it matter whether or not she covers her feet? There wasn't a difference between the scholars at any time and any place that a woman had to cover her feet, either with a garment that was long enough to cover her feet or by wearing socks. None of the scholars differed over that. On the four madhabs, none of them. None of them. We don't know of a single statement of the Sahaba, the Salaf, the Tabi'in, the Tabi'in that says that the scholars differed over whether a woman had to cover her feet. But she thinks that it's something she has an option in. So it starts with her feet. And we're not saying this theoretically. We're saying this is something that we've seen happen. It starts with her feet, and then she has a baby by a kafir the next year. How did you go from this to that? It reminds us of a statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Musa said to his people, أَتَسْتَبْدِلُونَ الَّذِي هُوَ أَدْنَى بِالَّذِي هُوَ خَيْرٌ اهْبِطُوا مِصْرًا فَإِنَّ لَكُمْ مَا سَأَلْتُمْ. Will you exchange that which is least, that which is less for that which is in the place of that which is better? Allah had given the people food, manna wa salwa from the heavens. Food from the heavens that none of the people was eating. The people, they said, we want to go down to the land and see what the people have of lentils and onions and so on and so forth. Musa, he said, will you exchange that which is least in place of that which is better? Go down to any land and you'll find what you're asking for. What did Allah say after that? وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. He said, and humiliation and ignominy was placed upon them. And they incurred the wrath and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.